What the fuck? Hey guys, welcome to Elevated Systems. I'm your host CJ, and you see I have a Best Buy bag sitting right here, and as much as I'd like to keep you in suspense and tease you about what's in the bag, I know that I'm gonna have to make a title and a thumbnail for this video, so you already know what's in the bag, and you clicked on it anyway, and I thank you for that, because for those of you who follow the channel know I'm a PC guy. I have been since my dad brought home an IBM PC Junior back in 1980 something. And PC related stuff is pretty much all I cover on this channel. So why did I go out and buy a $700 Mac Mini? Well, first, because I could. I mean, not because I'm Mr. Moneybags, no, because it was available. Now, by the time I published this video, things may have changed, but right now at the time of filming, this has been out for a couple of weeks, maybe not even, and it's in stock at MSRP. I just casually got on bestbuy.com, added it to my cart, ordered it, and picked it up down the road at my local Best Buy an hour later. Try doing that with any recently released computer components. In fact, at my local Best Buy, there were 0 graphics cards in the store, 0 Ryzen CPUs, a handful of 10th gen Intel CPUs, and no motherboards or power supplies. Forget trying to find the new stuff, even the older stuff's disappearing. I tried to buy a GTX 1650 this week for a project, and nothing, unless I wanted to spend like $300 for a 1650. But the hottest new thing built on a brand new platform for Apple that every Mac user seems to want, no problem. So despite what you think about Apple and their marketing and business practices, they don't ever seem to have a supply and demand problem. That brings me to reason number 2. One thing I've spoken out about on this channel is the rampant fanboyism that seeped its way into the tech space. I'm not gonna go into a rant right now. You guys know what I'm talking about, and it's something I just don't tolerate on this channel. Except, I'm guilty of it. As much as I preach about selecting the best price to performance components for the task you need to accomplish, regardless of brand, I've never given Apple a shot. Never even occurred to me to try because of my own deep-seated Apple prejudices. Again, not gonna start ranting about Apple. It's all still there in my mind, but I've decided to put it all aside and give Apple a shot because in all honesty, if what the early reviews by Mac users are true about this Mac Mini and Apple's M1 chip, I honestly don't think I can build a PC at this level of performance at this price point right now with current supply issues. If stuff was actually available, yeah, I probably could, but I definitely can't do it at this form factor and power consumption. That brings me to the final reason I'm giving this Mac Mini a try. Simple curiosity. Now, I know pretty much every Mac user or reviewer that covers Apple products loves this thing. Apple said they built the M1 chip to do what Mac users do, and apparently they accomplished that, but as a lifelong PC user, I have no idea what Mac users do, or how what Mac users do differs from what PC users do. Also, when I say I've never given Mac a shot, I mean I've never used a Mac. Ever. I'm a complete Mac virgin. The closest I came to operating a Mac once was my sister-in-law visited us and she handed me her MacBook and asked if I could connect it to the Wi-Fi. I just handed it back to her and wrote down the Wi-Fi password for her because I had no idea what I was looking at. So that's how I'm going into this whole project. I'm a lifelong PC user, complete Mac novice, and I'm gonna turn off my $6,000 32-core Threadripper based workstation and do all the workflow I would normally do on that PC on this Mac Mini for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. I'm not sure how long. I guess however long it takes me to first learn how to operate Mac OS or Big Sur or whatever. And second, how the performance of this $700 M1 Mac Mini compares to a PC. And ultimately, what's the experience of using a Mac? Now, I'm not sure it's fair to compare this to that, but I've been using and building PCs long enough that I'm pretty sure I'll be able to estimate what the PC equivalent in terms of performance and price would be. So that's what the rest of this video is going to be. Basically, the Mac Mini as experienced by a devout PC user. Okay, I'll get into how I'm going to share the whole experience with y'all, but first let's go over the Mac Mini itself, all the other stuff I have to go with it, and get it all connected and set up. So first, the Mac Mini I got is the 2020 M1 model with 8 gigabytes of RAM and 256 gigabytes of storage. I got this one, well, honestly, because it was the cheapest, and I can't bring myself to pay $200 extra for an extra 8 gigabytes of RAM or $200 for another 256 gigs of storage, but there's my prejudice slipping in. Now, in fairness to Apple, the memory is part of the M1 chip. Keep in mind, the M1 isn't just a typical CPU like the Intel CPUs the Mac Mini used to come with, or even an APU like the Ryzen 3400G. It's a true SoC, or system on a chip. It incorporates the CPU, the GPU, and the memory on the M1, so it's possible that the unified DDR4 is more expensive than just an 8 gig DDR4 SODIMM stick. But not having something like an M.2 expansion slot for additional NVMe storage, even if you need to use an M.2 drive from an Apple approved and certified list, that's just an Apple proprietary ecosystem thing. Anyway, because I know I'm gonna need a lot more than 256 gigabytes, especially if I'm using this as a workstation, I have a 1 terabyte Sabrent Rocket Q NVMe drive that I'm gonna connect using this Thunderbolt 3 compatible external enclosure. I also have this USB 3.1 Type-C to Type-A expansion hub to expand the I/O. I have an HDMI cable for one monitor. I have a Thunderbolt to HDMI for the second monitor, as I'll be using my 2 Samsung 4K monitors. And apparently one thing Mac users don't do is anything over 60 hertz. Also, I have this $30 Logitech keyboard mouse combo, for which I'll be using in conjunction with this USB switch, and I'll explain more about why I'm going with this as I set everything up, as well as some of the other peripherals I have back here. But first things first, let's get the Mac Mini out of the box and plugged in and set up. Okay, so I'm doing this one thing at a time, basically. So all I have connected is the keyboard and mouse, the Ethernet, and the displays. Now, I know I said I'm turning off my Threadripper workstation, but I'm not. I mean, it did, but I'm gonna turn it back on because I'm gonna use it to capture the Mac display and GoPro footage for the video, and you'll see that in a moment. That's just so I'm not gonna just be continually pointing a camera at the screen so you can see what I'm doing on the Mac. But first, let's turn on the Mac and get it all set up, and this will actually be the first time I've ever powered up a Mac. I see a light. There it is. Okay. So it looks like I have both displays working. That's good. I'm gonna get this set up. So I have the HDMI cable plugged into the bottom monitor, and I have the Thunderbolt to HDMI on the top. Oh! Wow, she talks to me. I think I'll just set up normally. English, US, yes, continue. Don't need to do any of that. Migration assistant. I don't have anything to transfer. Not now. I don't actually have an Apple ID. I guess I'll have to create one. All right, this is like taking a really long time. I don't know what's going on. I don't think I crashed. I still got mouse and cursor, but it's like frozen on this create computer account. Not even sure if you guys can see what's going on here. But basically, this is where it's just like frozen or something stuck here. I don't know. I mean, I guess I'll give it a few more minutes, but I don't. I have no idea. It's just stuck. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know. Should I try to restart it? I don't know if I should restart a Mac in the middle of the setup. I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea if anything's working here. I've been stuck at this screen for, like, it's been a long time now. All right. Computer account creation failed. That's what. Your computer account cannot be created with the name and password specified. Please try again. It doesn't like my name or password, apparently. It took a really long time for it to tell me it didn't like my name or password. So which one what do I can't. Oh, okay, back. I gotta sign back in. Okay. So maybe it was just account name was too long. I'll just put the one that they suggested for me. I don't know, the password's a pretty secure password. Let me just try that account name. Maybe that was it. The name you entered can't be used. The name is not available. Enter a different name. Not available. So my name is not available apparently. So I don't. Maybe because there was a space in it. I don't know. Are we doing this again? I think we're doing this again. What happened to Macs just work? All right, I'm not gonna continue to waste footage here. I'll roll the camera again when I get somewhere, I guess. Okay. Let me update you on where I am. This is now the third time that the computer account creation failed. I've been at this for, it's got to be over 30 minutes now. So let me kind of show you what I did between. So I can go back, and I've gone all the way back to the beginning and started over again. I don't want to, I can't do that. Now, I can skip this part, the signing in with their Apple ID. So for the third time, I did skip that. Yes, I want to skip it, but I can't skip this. I have to create a computer account, and I've tried 3 times, and I can't get past this screen. In the PC troubleshooting world, what's the first thing we always say is when you have a problem? you try turning it off and turning it back on again. So that's what I'm gonna do now. And I don't know, cross my fingers and hope I don't completely screw up the whole thing. But here we go. There's nothing else I can do but like a hard shutdown. So I assume I just hold the power button. Oh yeah, and I want to shut down, yes. Oh, well, it shut down. Okay. Let's power it back up, see what happens. So apparently it actually made all 3 of those accounts. Like, it kept telling me that it failed, but apparently there they are. Enter password. What does that mean? Does that mean the password's wrong when it shakes like that? Cap lock? No, cap lock's not on. All right, let me try this. Reset it using your Apple ID. What the? And now it says my Apple ID password is wrong. Well, that password's correct because I just logged into iCloud on my phone using that password. Let me just type it, make sure that these keys are actually working correctly with this Mac. Yep, that's right. Of course, I'm going to blur this out, but I typed in my password into the Apple ID section so I could see to make sure that the keys are actually all correct and I'm not typing some kind of foreign characters in, and it's correct. I realize I'm going to have to blur out my hands too. You guys are just seeing a big blurry mess at the moment because... Let me restart it again. Maybe just a restart. Google to the rescue. Okay, I'm gonna research this, see if there's some way I can bypass this login screen. Okay, so I booted into recovery mode, which process has been changed for the new M1 Mac. So after many frustrating attempts at trying to do that, I figured out you just turn off the system and you turn it back on just holding the power button down until you get into recovery mode. Now I've started the terminal and I'm going to see if I can reset the password from the terminal. Could not verify credentials because directory server does not support requested authentication method. That failed. Restart. No. So it actually did fail. That password reset did not work. Try all of them just to be sure. So I don't know. Back to Google, see if I can solve this problem. Now, I guess the only thing to do is, again, reset the system, which I guess is a good time to explain how to factory reset an M1 Mac Mini. Okay, so we're going to shut it down. Okay, now once the system is shut down, I'm going to hold the power button. So I'm going to turn it on, but keep holding the power button. I'm going to keep holding it. All right, until I get to this screen here. So now that I've gotten to this screen where it gives me shows me the disk and shows me options, I'm going to click options. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go straight to disk utility. And then in here, I want to delete these drives up here. I don't want to delete the macOS base system. That's where it's going to reinstall the macOS from, where it's going to reinstall Big Sur basically. But these ones, I'm going to erase them. I'm going to delete that data volume. And then The Mac one, I'm just going to erase it. It's going to delete all the data off of it and recreate a new blank Macintosh HD volume. All right, so now I can close my disk utility, and now I'm going to reinstall my Mac OS from here. That's the last step. So now to set up the installation of Mac OS Big Sur, just click continue. Gives me my license agreement. I'm going to agree. I want to select that Macintosh HD, the Macintosh hard drive, select continue, and now it's telling me I'm going to have an hour and 25 minutes. So think that's time to finish off my 12-year-old scotch. We'll be back. Okay, here we go. One last time. Let's move the whiskey out of the way. Zoom right up in here a little bit. Okay, here we go. I am in the United States. I do not want to do that now. I will continue. I have nothing to migrate. I will, in fact, sign in with my original ID because it didn't seem to make a difference. All right, this is the point. Let me just full name Din Djarin Mando Mac. Why not? Not looking good. This is as far as I get every time. If I can't get past this, I can't use the system. Okay, quick update. I am in fact resetting the Mac Mini for the third time. I attempted to call Apple service. What I got was a message that said, "Would you like to download our service app?" No, I want to talk to a human being. Apparently I can't do that. I have to download some service app to talk to a human being. Let's gauge my level of frustration so far with my Mac experience. My 12-year-old Gledfit is gone. I'm now moving on to my Colorado's own Stranahan single malt whiskey, which will require a new glass. And a nice cold sphere. So in 2 minutes when this thing resets, I will give it one last try just to get the system set up. I don't even know what the Mac operating system looks like because I haven't been able to get past the setup process. So, just like anything in life, my rule is baseball rules. 3 strikes and you're out. If I can't get this thing working this time, it's getting packed up back in its box and going back to Best Buy, where I'll just get my money back. Let's see if it works. Calming. Oh, yeah, that's good. Here we go. Takes a while. Computer account creation failed. Your computer account could not be created with the name and password specified. Please try again. I I just don't understand. Multiple computer names, I've tried multiple passwords. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. I gave up. I usually don't do that. But in this case, I give up. Okay, first, I apologize if the whole troubleshooting process got sloppy there. I actually worked on this for hours and I didn't roll camera on a lot of it, but I'll try to edit it all together as best I can. But bottom line is, I never got past the create computer account step. But I slept on it, guys, and I'm still pretty pissed for many reasons. So because the goal was to share my Mac experience and tell you what I thought about it, well, let me tell you. First, and probably the biggest point is, anytime I've ever talked to a Mac user and asked them, why you're a Mac user? The biggest point they've made is, it just works. You turn it on and it works and does what you want it to do. No, it doesn't. It can't even create a computer account. So I guess that selling point is crap. Another point I've heard is that the service and support is so good. No, it isn't. I called Apple support and was greeted with a recording that told me to download an app or go to their support website. No humans available by phone. I went to their website and was given the option to make a service appointment at an Apple store or authorized service center. Problem, Apple stores in my areas don't seem to be taking any appointments, and the one authorized service center that had an appointment at 4 p.m. today can't guarantee when they can actually get to the unit. I can drop it off and they'll call me when it's ready, and I ain't got time for that. Now, I did just buy this thing, so I can just bring it back to Best Buy and exchange it. Unfortunately, since I bought this last week, we've moved pretty deep into the holiday shopping season, and it won't be until next week before they can get me a new one here in my local area. If I want to drive 50 miles to Denver, I can get one today, but I'm not taking a 100-mile round trip for this. The really frustrating part about this is I've never been able to not solve a PC problem. A bad component, I can diagnose and repair or replace it. A bad OS install, just reformat and reinstall. Now, I did find the apparent solution to the problem, which in the Apple forums other people have had with this M1 Mac Mini. According to support.apple.com, I can revive and restore a Mac with Apple Silicon using Apple Configurator 2. But in order to use the Apple Configurator 2, you need another functioning Mac with an approved USB-C cable to connect the two. The huge problem with that, this is the only Mac I own, the only Mac I've ever owned, and the only Mac I will ever own. And as a matter of fact, in a couple of hours, I won't even own this anymore because I've decided to just return it, which is actually pretty disappointing because I did have some extensive plans for this. I mean, I even made a list. I was gonna do a lot of video editing with DaVinci Resolve and Premiere Pro. I was gonna rework my opening logo reveal in After Effects. I was gonna test out Photoshop with my Wacom tablet. I was gonna do some 3D prototyping in Fusion 360 and slicing in Cura. I was gonna test it as a streaming box with OBS, and yes, I was gonna install Steam and test some gaming, but not gaming on the Mac Mini. I was gonna try out Steam Share to stream games from my gaming PC to the Mac and see how it worked for that. This was most definitely going to be a multi-part series, but now it's just a flop. And the one and only time I'll ever buy an Apple product to cover on this channel. With one exception, because we just bought my son a new iPad for Christmas and surprised him with it very early, and he loves it. And we actually just filmed a video on it. It's awesome. He did a whole review all by himself. I was gonna edit all that footage on this Mac, so I'm not going to spoil that. I'll return this, I'll edit the footage on my trusty PC, and that'll be up before this video. Cyberpunk 2077 is about to be launched, and I have content planned for that, so this setback puts me in a tough spot. On the one hand, I have this product that is getting glowing reviews, but there seems to be a potential problem with it, and I'd like to give you all a heads up on that, but I also have a tight, already full schedule of content, either already filmed or planned. So I planned on taking Christmas week off, but I'll probably now work on this and try to get it out that week. I went into this project with an open mind and big plans, and this experience is just, it's crushed those plans. But listen, guys, if you have one of these Apple silicon-based Macs, I hope it's working flawlessly for you. I really do, and if so, I'm sure you'll definitely let me know in the comments. If you were thinking about buying one and this info has deterred you a little, let me just say that although I did see a handful of people in the forums with this exact problem, it doesn't seem to be widespread, and it appears to have surfaced since the Big Sur 11.1 update. So again, I'm a complete Mac novice, so take this all with a grain of salt. There's probably Mac users watching this laughing at me because there's like a simple, keystroke or something that will fix everything. But as a Mac virgin, my first Mac experience was extremely disappointing. It's like deja vu. Anyway, that's it, guys. Ran over. I don't even know how to close this one, so